You're going to serve your enemy. It started, guess what? It started when we, guess what were the, if you know a little bit of history, what were the Aztecs doing in the time before the so-called Spaniards came over? You ever seen Apocalypto? They were sacrificing people, pulling their hearts out for what? For the sun. So what were they doing? They were serving the sun god Ra, and they were worshiping the sun.
Right.
They were worshiping the creation and not the creator, because they weren't keeping commandments. And what happened? It's going to say that it's going to serve the enemy. It's going to say like the enemies against us. So what happened to us? We got hung, we got killed, right? We got put into slavery, just like the so-called black man before. Because in 1519, that's when we started going to slavery. 1619, the so-called black here in the so-called America, right? But guess what? The Most High said that, guess what? I'm going to send that enemy against you. It's not by accident. He's going to release that enemy, and guess what? You're going to have no power and no might. Because guess what? Right now, if you get in trouble, you can't call up an army that holds behind you. Hey, this guy's picking on me, right?
Right.
Remember when we were young and we like, hey, this guy's picking on me. I'm going to call my cousin and the homeboys. They're going to come down and we're going to do something. Right? But guess what? When a nation picks on you, you can't do nothing.
Right.
We can't stand against no missiles. We can't stand against the armors of this world.
Bring it out.
We can't do that. So guess what? We gotta call up on a higher power. That's the thing. Read.
Lamentations chapter 5 and verse 2.
Bring it out.
Our inheritance is turned to strangers, our houses to aliens.
Our heritage is turned to strangers, and also our houses, meaning guess what? Our lands. This used to be once Mexico, right? Guess what? We don't own Texas. We don't own California. We don't even own Mexico.
Right.
Spain still owns Mexico. We just live there. They run it. We don't have a say-so. The problem with our people is that they think that because they put a vote in, that they're going to focus. Oh, you know what? The Latino vote is coming in. I'm going to take care of the Latino. They need a better community. They need this and that. I'm going to put money into that. They don't do that. They put money, guess what, into their children, into their seeds,
right,
into their neighborhoods. They don't do it to us. That's why it's, guess what, it's a false promise. That's why they want you to go away from this, and they want you to go into politics. What it is politics. They just trick your mind thinking that, guess what, it's getting better for the raza. It's getting worse. Every single day it's getting worse for the raza. Read.
We are orphans and fatherless. Our mothers are as widows. We have drunken our water for money. Our wood is sold unto us.
Everything that we have to do, we have to work. We have to go to them. All the trees, where they get the trees from, and they sell it to us. We have to what? When we want to build a house, what do we have to do? We have to go to Home Depot, right? When the wood's for free and that land belongs to us, right?
We have drunken our water for money. Our wood is sold unto us. Our necks are under persecution. We labor and have no rest.
Hey, Raul, how's it going, man? Officer Izekiel, how you doing? Are you a so-called Mexicano? Okay. What we're doing today is we're showing the so-called Mexicano where they come from. You know where you can find the Mexicanos in the Bible and the Scripture? You don't? Okay. You were raised up in Christianity or Catholic? You are? Okay, I'll praise it. Even better, because guess what? We're going to introduce the Bible to you and show you that, guess what? The so-called Mexicano are in the Bible. And I'm going to show you where they come from. Okay, go ahead. Give me a second interest. I'm going to show you how the so-called, in general, the so-called Hispanic and the Native American came on this side of the earth. Because a lot of people, we understand from history that life was origin in the east, right? In the east. But we never have taught of how do we got on this side of the earth. You know what I mean? This is the history in the Bible, how we got on this side of the earth. Okay, read.
There's the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 13 and verse 40. Those are the 10 tribes.
Stop. It says, those are the 10 tribes. Meaning, in the Bible, I'm going to give you a little quick nutshell. God has chosen a certain people. And those people are the 12 tribes of Israel in the Bible. The black, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Okay? But there are 12 tribes, but it's saying here 10 tribes. And there's a reason why. In the book of Kings, there was a split in between, I'm gonna put it straight, into primarily the blacks and the Hispanics and Native Americans. There was a split.
Right.
A division. Okay? So
What club was that at?
That was admit that a lot of people don't even realize they.
I've called her. She hasn't responded. I've called her more than a few times.
With the Zulu Nation, I'm like, what the hell is this? I know nobody know what I'm talking about. You'll leave me on the island by myself. I don't know what the hell Bishop's talking about. That's what y'all do. Then after class, yeah, I knew what you were talking about. I just don't want to be caught out there. The hell is this? Get on my damn nerves. So read that again. 31.
Ephraim right here. Ephraim, he's the head tribe of the northern kingdom, the norteños. All these right here, that's the tribe that they're speaking of. The so-called Native Americans, the Dominicans, Cubans, those are the names that they call us now, today, Mexicanos, where you are, Argentina, the Chile, the Seminole Indians, the Cubanos, all those, that's what it's talking about here when it says the 10 tribes, right? Read.
Which were carried away prisoners out of their own land in the time of Hosea the king, whom Salmanassar, the king of Assyria, led away captive, and he carried them over the waters. And so came they into another land. But they took this counsel among themselves, that they would leave the multitude of the heathen.
They took a counsel and said, you know what, we're going to leave the heathen, meaning the other nations. We're going to leave them behind, and we're going to go, right?
And go forth into a further country where never mankind dwelt.
It's saying that they're going to a country or a land where no man has ever lived at. Now, we know from history at this time in the Bible that we were in Asia, we were in Europe, we were in China, when we were in Russia. But nowhere does it speak of what? The Western Hemisphere, or the so-called Americas, right? It doesn't speak that. Right here is going to tell you.
That they might there keep the statutes which they never kept in their own land. And they entered into the Euphrates by the narrow passages of the river. For the Most High then shewed signs for them, and held still the flood till they were passed over.
So it's showing that they're traveling on there. Where's the map? Is it right here? Yeah, right there it is. So right here. Right here. So the Euphrates is right here. So they started taking off right here on this side of Africa, right? On Africa, and then they were taking off here. So this is the real strong waters. So he said it hold the floods for them, right?
For through that country there was a great way to go, namely of a year and a half.
So wherever they were going, it took a year and a half by ship, right? Read.
And the same region is called Arsareth.
It said, and the region, this place was called Arsareth. Y'all have the Arsareth thing? We're going to show you in the encyclopedia of the Jewish encyclopedia what the word Arsareth is. Because if you were reading a book and you saw the word Arsareth, you'd be like, I don't know what that is. I don't know where that is. It might as well be Never, Never, Neverland. You know what I mean? But we're going to show you what it is. Okay, no problem, man.
Okay, this is from the Jewish Encyclopedia by Morris Jastrow Jr. and Kaufman Kohler. The name of the land beyond the great river, far away from the habitation of man, in which the 10 tribes of Israel will dwell, observing the laws of Moses until the time of restoration, according to 4th Ezra 1345. Columbus identified America with this land.
So Columbus identified the land of Arsareth by this land. America is called after a man called Americo Vespucci. So that's why before it was called America, before the Italians came on this side of the earth and claimed it and put their name on it, it was called Arsareth. The Bible calls it, and that's how we got here on this side of the earth.
Right.
And we came to keep the statues, right? And then later on, what happened later on? The so-called after we got into slavery under the Españoles, what happened? Then the blacks, they brought him over. They built over there. So guess what? We came together and came to be oppressed together. Okay, Raul? So I know you gotta go, man. What we're doing here is, guess what? Not only showing the history, but we're telling our people, Raul, to come back and keep the commandments. I was in your shoes one day, guess what? Learning about this. And I wanted to know where I came from and who I was and what my purpose was here. Guess what? Your purpose is not here to work 9 to 5, 40 hours, 60 hours a week, live, die, and retire. It's more than that. It's to keep God's commandments.
That's right.
You got any kids, Raul? You got kids? Your daughter has to know, guess what? She's not Mexicano, she's not Latino. Those names have been put on us by our oppressor. She's from the tribe of Issachar.
That's right.
From the mighty nation of Israel.
That's right.
God showed them, and they've called you to be a leader among your family, to guess what? Get your family in order and get your daughter in order. Because guess what? And 80 to 100 years old, when you pass away, you're going to leave something valuable behind to your family. And it's going to continue to understand who they are. Because guess what? If you continue to live like a Mexicano, you're gonna live and work like a Mexicano. You're gonna die like a Mexicano, and you're gonna continue that evil spirit among your children.
Right.
But until you come back to your origination of who you are, you're never gonna fulfill your duty here on the earth.
Right.
We used to scream black power while heroin was pushed. But at the end of the day, nothing's in vain. IUIC has been given a vision. The tents of Judah has risen. Many has attempted the mission. Minor murmuring, omitting, and missing the mark. Just reading that he had the flame of fire in his eyes gave us the spark. We on Paul's mission. We out on the road, purple and gold. From Mexico, Cuba, Haiti, Ghana, Sierra Leone. 144,000 boots banging, concrete crackling. These are how men repented at heart. The scriptures is proof. IUIC, we deliver the truth.